That video just feels hard to ignore. He says the COVID vaccine skipped animal testing and animals died in early trials. And honestly, it was developed so fast, that doesn't sit right with me.
It sounds like what's really bothering you is the idea that corners were cut and that you aren't sure it was actually safe.
Yeah, and if it was still experimental, how do we know it didn't cause more harm than good?
That's a big fear. Nobody wants to feel like they were part of an experiment. Can I ask, what part feels most concerning to you? The animal testing claim, or the idea that it wasn't tested enough?
Both. If animals died in testing, that's huge. Does that mean the vaccine is not safe?
Can I walk through both of those pieces? There's something about that claim that doesn't add up for me.
Go ahead.
First, the animal testing claim contradicts itself. If animal testing was skipped, then animals couldn't have died in testing. In reality, animal testing was done. Vaccine companies tested their vaccines in rats or in rabbits. There were also monkey studies, and some of that research was published in scientific journals, including a 2021 paper in Nature. None of the companies stopped those trials, and they didn't report that animals were dying from the vaccine. The FDA also publicly stated that the claim that animal testing was skipped is completely false.
But it was still rushed.
It was fast. That's true, but fast doesn't mean skipped. Normally, vaccine development happens step by step. During COVID, the phases overlapped, so animal studies and human trials ran in parallel to save time. The safety steps were still there. They just didn't wait for one phase to finish before starting the next.
Okay, but what did the COVID vaccine actually accomplish?
Would it help if I shared what scientists found about lives saved?
It might.
One major analysis estimated that more than 2.5 million deaths were prevented because of COVID vaccination. That's about the size of a whole major city. And that's the low-end estimate. Some research suggests it could be closer to 4 million lives saved. Another way to think about it, for roughly every 5,400 shots given, one life was saved. So every time a few thousand people got vaccinated, statistically speaking, someone who would have died didn't. About 90% of those lives were people 60 and older. In other words, a lot of grandparents and older adults got more time with their families. Altogether, researchers estimate about 14.8 million years of life were saved. That means people didn't just survive, they gained extra years they probably wouldn't have had.
But younger people didn't benefit as much, right?
The benefit was much smaller for children and young adults. That's true. COVID risk was always higher for older adults. Hospitalizations in children were lower than in adults, but they weren't zero. Young children and infants, especially, are more vulnerable because their immune systems aren't fully developed. There was also MIS-C, or multisystem inflammatory syndrome in children, which could happen after COVID infection. It's rare, but it can be serious. Clinical trials and real-world data showed that vaccination reduced the risk of severe illness in kids, including hospitalization and MIS-C. So the benefit wasn't just theoretical. It showed up in actual outcomes.
It helps hearing the numbers instead of just slogans.
Same. The slogans don't help. Data does. If you want, I can send you the full analysis. It breaks down where the benefits were strongest.
Yeah, I'd like to look at that.
Great. I'll send it to you today.